A quick reaction to Oviedo versus Real Madrid.
There was one when he looked right at the bench and he was gesticulating to the bench.
Yeah.
Okay, you dare put me on there.
Exactly, because we were wondering if Xabi Alonso's changes, which included leaving Vinny Jr. on the bench for today's game, was a bit of a message that Real Madrid needed to pull up their socks after what was a lackluster performance last week. Even though they still got the win, they got a 3-0 win here today. Let's welcome in our boy, Luis Garcia, as well, who's joining us. But Craig, let me come to you first for this one, because again, you had your moments in this game where you were almost fighting sleep. It's not the Real Madrid performance you wanted. You just shock up fighting sleep, but Craig said, "Ooh."
Well, I'm not sure that was the game or it was just me. Might have been a bit of both.
You had to go for multiple snacks to stay away.
Real, too much chocolate. Real Madrid deserved the win. Clinical in the second half, not flamboyant, not brilliant, but certainly good enough, as was touched on in commentary.
So let's pause here. Yeah, this is not the most exciting game that we can all agree on. Because when you play a team like Osasuna last week, and this week we played Oviedo, when most of the players of these teams, all they do is just defending. They have no intention to attack. On the other hand, Real Madrid is a team who likes to play attacking football, and they struggle when they face against, say, a team like Oviedo or a team that's very defensive. So it's not totally unexpected that this game will be so exciting.
Real Oviedo just limited, in terms of what they could offer, so had to do a lot of defending. Big story was Alexander Arnold out, Vinicius Jr. out, Rodrigo in from the cold, the Antarctic almost, from where he was. What was that all about? And Vinny coming on, Mbappe continuing the good start to the season, 3 goals now in the last 2 La Liga games. And Vinny coming on and having a bit of everything, having the dive, the assist, the goal, the anger, the sort of emotion, the frustration that, he was on the bench. And I think Xabi Alonso, when he goes home, have a little smile about it and go, yeah, I got a reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, it was Real Oviedo. It was 20, 25 minutes, whatever it was, I can't remember, but I got a reaction. I didn't get a player who come on and sulked. I got a player who come on and made a difference, and I think that's what he was looking for. And before the game, we talked about the message that he may have been sending, and I think in some sense, what he was looking for. If we can go back to the big talking point early on, was the challenge.
Yeah.
Some people see it from different sides. The one thing I would say in the Tchouaméni challenge on Dendoncker, it doesn't really matter now these days about how much you play. It's about the angle of your tackle. It's just out now.
I think what Craig is trying to summarize everything together, and it becomes a little messy, too many information at the same time. Let's break down today's starting lineup. When I saw the lineup, I was pretty excited because we needed some change. We have seen Vinicius Jr., despite being one of the fundamental players of his team, he was lacking. He was slacking. His performance wasn't good. And we know that this has been happening since that Ballon d'Or saga. We haven't seen the old Vinicius. Maybe once a while, but not consistent level, right? So we needed to see some change. I was actually being a little bit frustrated with Xabi that he wasn't benching Vinicius. He should have done this even before, but finally he has done it. The reason why it's good for the team, because when you become so content, you become so satisfied about your position in the team. When you bench him, he has to do something different. He will get to know that my performance is not there where it should be. So once Xabi benched him, now we saw the reaction today, and this is what we expect from Vinicius, right? More aggression, more defensive role, and ultimately playing better. Besides, I have also seen other change from Xabi, for example, Franco on the right side. I think that's also pretty decent idea. Also, the midfield is pretty much the midfield that Xabi has been shown so far. The only thing was different, like if you look at our Club World Cup performance, I think the best games we played, we had Gonzalo in the front. That's the only difference. But otherwise, the team we have seen is pretty much what Javi has been playing. Again, Carvajal is also back, so which is also good. We need a lot of rotations. One huge difference I have seen from Javi's Real Madrid versus Carlo Ancelotti is the rotation, and he's not afraid to change. Now, when it comes to performance, let's wait a little bit.
Many years ago, and it was to stop the, it was more to stop the strikers at the time who were coming with the back to goal, get the ball to feet. It was to stop the big centre half coming through the back of them. And so that sense, we can debate how much of the ball he played and how much he didn't, but he definitely came back through the back of Dendoncker. There's no doubt about that. And that, by the letter of the law now, is outdated and should have been a free kick. The one thing I would say on the other side of it, had it somehow been Oviedo challenge on Tuesday and they had scored, we know what that scenario would have been.
Oh, yes.
It would have
When it comes to ESPN, it's all about anti-Real Madrid. They will try to find something that did not even matter. For example, when I look at the replay of that tackle, Chouamani got the ball. Now, if you follow the modern rules, if you get the ball, should be safe, right? That should not affect the game. That should not affect the outcome of the game. And then Goulart got the ball. What a fantastic pass. And that turn by Mbappe, that is very silky. That's not very seen in this Real Madrid. And this is why Mbappe is the best player right now. You might disagree if you're a Barca fan or other club. He's the best player. Now, last year he did not have the best game, best year, but he was still a top scorer in Europe. So you have to concede one that Mbappe is the best player. And if you gave him ball like this, he will score some fantastic goal.
the first
You
half.
say it didn't affect the match in general, but Oviedo, okay, they were second.
I wouldn't have thought it.
No question. But
It was a break
But
for Madrid.
it was just 1-0 to the 83rd minute. Oviedo, to their credit, newly promoted, defending well, 80 minutes gone, you one goal back. No, you have to take some chances and push forward, which maybe they wouldn't have if it were 0-0. And again, I am not disputing that Real Madrid were easily the better teams, but you've got to sympathize with the minnows here. Oviedo coming back to Madrid, defending as well as they had, and then when they tried to take chances to try to pick back that goal, which I think should not have been allowed to stand. That's when they got out, and that's when Real Madrid make easy work of it. I sympathize with Oviedo. I feel that had that
So now we come to the point where we're making points. If this would happen 88 minutes, 80 minutes, this would happen. This is football. That's not how it works. If we can say if, we can make so many stories, but that's not the reality.
Xabi Alonso was sending some sort of message to Vinicius Jr. because Rodrigo's not really going to play much at all. If he's at Real Madrid by the end of the transfer window, that's debatable. Even if he is, Vinicius is going to play. What's your reading of the other big decision today? Carvajal and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Obviously, Alexander-Arnold played against Osasuna. Carvajal's fit again, and he got the nod today. What's your reading on that scenario?
There's no reading here. This is how it should be. I mean, we're kind of spoiled seeing same players again and again almost every match under Carlo Ancelotti, which is not ideal. And nowadays in modern football, we have more match, more Champions League game, and overall more games. So ultimately, the best things is to do have more rotation, have different players. When you have so many alternatives, we should see different players in different match, and this is how it should be. This is not a story. ESPN is just literally making a story out of nothing.
Yes, I think it's another message that, of course, Alessandro Arnold is got a fantastic quality and abilities to have the ball and to look for fantastic passes. I thought that today would have been a very important player because you know that you are going to be dominating the game. So having a player who can deliver good ball from the wide areas was going to be very important. Even his fantastic strike from long distance in teams that they are in a low block, I think that he suits a lot. But then Xavi decided to give more minutes and a lot of minutes to Carvajal. He knows that he's going to need him. He needs to start giving. So he thought, okay, today we are going to have a lot of the ball, so I can give a lot of minutes to Carvajal. We are not going to struggle in good, very pleasant, we can call it this way, game. And it's minutes that Carvajal is going to need from now until maybe in December, a lot of those. And in these kind of games, it could be helpful. So I don't think that he's trying to make a big statement right there, but it was needed to give minutes to Carvajal.
Just to add with what I already said earlier, Carvajal, if he's fit, he's probably one of the best right back, even at this age. Being said that, I think this rotation was needed because if you don't rotate against a team like Oviedo, when do you do it, right? And also having two different player profiles like Alexander Arnold and Carvajal, two different, right? Carvajal is very defensive, very good defensively, also decent and very good attacking wise. On the other hand, Arnold is very attacking minded. Like he can do something that only midfielders can do, like have a long pass, long through ball, and crossing, everything. So I think it's good that we have totally different or opposite profiles because say we're playing a very defensive team. We can play Arnold, and we're playing against a team, very attacking team, who can be problematic against Arnold, say Barca or PSG. We can just deploy Carvajal. But if we don't play them, how can they get used to, right? So this is how it should be anyway. The other point I forgot to mention, Vinicius with Rodrigo. I do believe that both should play in the left side. And I think what we should do, let them compete against each other. Whoever plays better, they'll play. Whoever doesn't play, they'll be in the bench. Simple. Because we have seen Rodrigo at right side is not probably not the best solution. We have better players in the right side. We have now Franco. I think he was decent today. Maybe not the best, but the performance I saw from Franco being only 18, I think he turned 18 recently. And even at this age, he showed some maturity. I didn't feel like this was his first match, or this is last two match was his first match with this team. He's playing as if he was here in a very long time. So that means he's adjusting very well. And although we haven't seen the best, we haven't seen what we expect to see, I think we'll see much better. I rather prefer him playing on the right side than Rodrigo or even Brahim. Brahim, he's a super player when it comes to a replacement player or as a super sub. But whenever you see him playing in the starting lineup, I'm not very happy about his performance. Like, I'm not that impressed. So to quickly recap what happened today, we played a decent game, not the best performance-wise, not the most exciting game, but a lot of things to be happy about. For example, we had much more pressure. Whenever we lost the ball, our players tried to get the ball as soon as possible, and we had a lot of possession, which is we have seen even Carlos' time. The problem was one thing I have noticed with Carlo even now is that we still don't have a solution against a low block team. Now, Jabi, when he used to play with Leverkusen, he used to play crossing. Like he used to do a lot of crossing from the left or right side, especially his fullbacks. But he also had very tall strikers. Like, hey, we don't have, so we cannot utilize that tactics. We have to have something different. Ideally, what we would like to see from Jabi, which we also did not see with Carlo, is that when we play defensive, we just become so static. Like players are there in the same position, there's no movement. Yeah, I know it's not going to be, but the players, opposition team players, all are defending. 6 players, 7 players, 11 players in the same zone. So we have to find a solution. Ideal solution would be make dynamic movement. Players doesn't have to be in the same position. They can exchange position and role and make run. And then quick passing. The most important thing is quick passing. For example, when I see PSG, when I see Barcelona, what they do quick passing. And when you do quick passing, opposition cannot have enough time to judge what they have to do. But when you do predictable slow passing, is a problematic. Which is something that we still have to move on. And so far, what I have seen from Jabi, there are a lot of good things, as I said. The change of lineup, change of different players, and not having his favorite players again and again despite playing bad, say, he's changing that. That culture is going away, which is good. Now we have also seen another thing we have seen is that better defensive structure compared to last year. So defensively, we're a little bit better than last year. Now attacking wise, not so much yet. But believe it or not, whenever you get a new coach, it's not going to be easy. You don't expect overnight change. It takes time. It takes time to build up his philosophy, tactics. And moreover, Real Madrid is a team where you have so many big egos. So he also get used to those things. Now we have seen reaction from Vinny. Today I have seen in a moment Vinny was angry after his assist to Mbappe. Now I do not know that anger was towards Jabi or towards opposition fan, Oviedo fans, because Oviedo fans were making noise against Vinicius, which every team is doing nowadays. If it's that's the case, he's making noise against say their fan, that's fine. I can see that reaction. But if that reaction is against Jabi, I have serious problem with Vinicius. I have to talk to him. If I'm Jabi, I'll sit with him. What's going on? So I have to find out why Vinicius' reaction was that. If he's against Jabi, that's not acceptable. No matter how he's doing, how his performance is, you cannot speak against a coach. You have to accept his decision. And there's a reason why he's doing this. The other thing is that Rodrigo. I think first half was okay. Not the best, but still okay. It's acceptable. However, we still haven't seen that fantastic performance that we would like to see. Rodrigo is another sinking boat. He's another sinking ship. I don't see how he's going to be so much better. There's no confidence. You saw today that he was trying to dribble 3-2-3 plus and losing the ball. Lost his confidence. He even lost his dribbling ability. And the worst thing what I have noticed his reaction after getting subbed. Now, I understand he should be mad, he should not be happy. But I would rather like to see that reaction is against his performance, not against coach decision to take him out early. Because you weren't playing so well. So you have to be subbed out. That's how football works. Anyway, let me know what do you think about our performance today. Also, because I haven't talked to you for a very long time, what do you think so far about Jabi's performance? Do you like it? Do you expect better or do you expect something different? Let me know.